Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to my channel. It's been a while since I last did a live video. So I just thought I will come in and thank you. Before I go ahead, I thank you all who've been supporting me. I took a little break. Obviously life happens. My daughter got married. Yes, indeed. I'll talk about that later. It all happened so quickly, but we are very happy. And of course, I've been trying to catch up with so much of my own work, and you name it. So, on that note, I want to thank you all who have been supporting me so far. So I welcome you to this unexpected, impromptu live because I wanted to share a line of thoughts to help anyone out there and all those people who always feel like sometimes life isn't fair, or sometimes you feel and ask, do your friends even value you? Do your relatives even value you? And you consider yourself a good person. You consider yourself a giver. You consider yourself a loving sister, loving brother, loving friend, loving daughter. So this is for you. And I hope it helps you because I was, listening to someone, advising someone, and trying to use my own life experience to um, console or explain to help them. And at the end of this video, I will give you in a sentence that will round off the tip, just like the title said, a tip that will help you live life a lot happier. Yes, yes, there's so many factors, as we all know, that make up life. And there's so many complexities to the relationships that we share with people around us. And for some reason, as the going says, it's always those who are closest to you that often seem to hurt you, even when you feel you don't deserve it. And after all, nobody deserves to be hurt or to feel hurt. And I want to bring this little thing and ask you to practice it. If you've ever found yourself in a situation, for example, for a long time you feel like you are in a relationship. It could be platonic, it could be romantic, it could be a sibling to sibling, it could be a friend to friend, or what have you, or even a colleague. And you always feel like you are always giving. And of course, bear in mind when I say giving, in my own faith, my belief, I don't know what your faith, you could be Christian, you could be Muslim, you could be Jewish, or whatever. In my own Christian faith, you give because that's part of what our Christian faith teaches us. And when I give, I don't give because I'm expecting that person to reward me or because I'm looking and waiting for that reward from heaven. I am giving because naturally it's in my nature. I love to make people happy. I love to surprise people. Even when, put it this way, when things I've dreamt of and wish other people did for me, I love to do it for the people around me, i.e., whether it's your sibling or a friend or nephew or niece. But then, if you're that kind of person, as I've just given you an example, and you feel that in your life, you look back for the past 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, it's been so one sided. And sometimes you stand back and wonder, do the person or people you actually genuinely love, do they actually value you? Do they actually genuinely appreciate you and your love? Or is it about what they or you feel you're giving them? Now, that's a question for you to answer. And I know for a lot of people, if you have your eyes open on those, for some of us, it might take a long time because when you genuinely love someone, whether it's your sibling, your friend, your husband, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever the case may be, sometimes one has a tendency, if you like, to give grace. And often, like I said, when you're giving, and when I say giving, it could be monetary giving, it could be present, it could be your time. You're always trying to pick up the phone to call that person. And by calling, let's face it, most times we call people, especially if you're in the West. I say in the West, I'm not saying people in third world countries, especially Africa or Asia, are not busy. But the truth is, in the West, we haven't got the privilege like some of you that have maids or house helps or driver. So in other words, you find that your time when you're in the West, whether you're in the UK, USA, Germany, Europe, is often constrained. Therefore, everything we tend to do is carefully planned out. So, what I'm saying is that when you do pick up your phone to call someone, you're doing it out of love, out of concern, or out of respect, or out of care. But then, the times the person barely calls you could tell you whether or not that is a reciprocal of love or reciprocal of what you feel you're giving them. So what I'm saying is when I keep talking about giving, whether you're a giving person, giving could be in terms of money, it could be gifts, it could be uh, giving your time, which money can buy your time. It could be giving your heart. Of course, your feelings are involved in whichever way the relationship you may be dealing with is. Now, the question lies, does that person or do those people reciprocate what you keep doing for them? Especially when I've heard a lot of you who are maybe in diaspora where you spend so much of your energy, you work so hard. This is not like third world countries where people can make money through corrupt means. I'm not saying everybody in third world country is corrupt. I'm just saying in general. Anyone that works in the West will tell you that every penny, however rich or poor, is carefully planned because you work very hard for your money. And so it should be. Therefore, you find I've heard so many stories and I've experienced it myself. I'll be honest, where for those of us who are not maybe in your mother country or wherever you come from, and you have all those relatives or friends or first cousin, second cousin, 20 cousin, brother, sister, friend, whatever the case may be, and you feel that you'd be very generous with your hard-earned money, or you've probably gone as far as giving people free tickets. Now that's rare, but some of us have done that, and some of you are doing that, or you feel like you've done so much more than the person or the people have ever even done for you. And remember, you're not counting it penny by penny. All you're hoping is that one way or another that someone you've been showing love for a long time, in one way or another, can actually at least open their mouth to express a deeper gratitude to you, to show you that they actually love you and appreciate all you've been doing. Are you one of those people? Because I've heard so many first accounts of this where people, especially those ones in diaspora or even within the country, in this instance, let me use Nigeria or Ghana as an example, because those of you, even in Nigeria, if you may be in Lagos or Abuja, because you're that relative is always giving, giving, giving to you, to people you love, and you begin to feel, do they even care? You hear people abroad talk about all the time they're sending to their families, but not once would anybody even pick up the phone to call you to check and see how you're doing. If they call you, it's usually about something about money or alluding towards that. And sometimes those people in whether it's Africa or Asia, wonder why some relatives, when they travel, do not even want to communicate with people back home because of the pressure that some people feel. So, going back to what I was saying, making yourself happier. If you're one of those and you feel like someone is actually not taking you, um, not valuing what you're doing. And I'm not saying, they have to bow down for you or anything. You understand. Because when someone actually values you, even if they cannot afford to give you the same or more of what you're giving, there are words you would expect. Things like, oh, we miss you. Oh, when are we going to see you? Oh, I mean, you would know. Because sometimes it seems like some of these people, certain people are just good takers. And even what's more, sometimes when they're taking from you, they're making it seem like, oh, this big thing, even though you know it's big and no one has ever done it for you, but they're taking it and they thank you. It's almost like, well, if you give, you give, you don't give. In other words, like with some arrogance. So, what I want to bring to you today, if you find yourself and you keep asking if other people or anyone has ever felt that way, I want you to calm down. Don't let people upset you. I know it's easier said than done because when we love those we love, what we do for them is out of our own heart. And it's not to say that if we don't do it, that they will not survive. Of course, they will survive. But when we do what we do, especially when you send money to people, you do a lot of things, you even buy tickets, you do all sorts of generous things that you yourself are denying yourself extra luxury because there are a million and one things anyone could do with their money than giving it to someone else. And I don't care if that someone else felt like they deserved it because you cannot keep giving someone for the rest of your life. And all you ever wanted was just for them to appreciate you or give you the same amount of respect. Do you understand? So don't let it get you down. And let me tell you the reason it gets you down and you're not alone. So that if you know this, know it and know peace. And try to reprogram your mind to think more positively, be more calculated in your intentions and change the way you do things because this is one tip I wish personally I practiced years ago because then I wouldn't have gone through a lot of emotional turmoil or heartache or pain you feel towards those who are supposed to be closest to you. We're supposed to protect you more. And it hurts when the very people, i.e., could be your sibling, maybe one of your siblings you love someone, maybe it's a man you fell in love with, maybe it's a woman you fell in love with, maybe it's your ex-husband, ex-wife, whatever the case may be. Let me tell you why it hurts. It hurts because, like I said, you're a giver. You are a kind person. You are genuine. You mean well. But that person, most times, people take those people who are actually kind and generous for granted. Or sometimes, in some people's experience, that person you've been helping those years when he or she were raising young children, and because the children are grown up, suddenly you see a change in the person, almost as if their attitude is saying, "Oh, I don't need you anymore. I've been through the hard times. Now my children are grown up. I don't need that money you used to send me every 3 months or every 2 months or every 1 month." And you're getting a certain attitude. Or maybe it's that friend, when it was their birthday, you were there, you celebrated them, you did things just to surprise them, just to make them happy. But then you find that when it's your own birthday, that friend does not even try, let alone they don't have to do exactly what you did or come up to, but just a little bit to show that they actually appreciated all the kind things you have done for them. So if you're one of those, like I said, calm down, relax, be happy. And I'll give you one tip. If you practice it from now on, even the pain you've been feeling, I promise you that pain will lessen and they will see a change in you. And what I'm asking you to learn to do today is to give people as much as they give you. Don't give them or waste your 100% for their 10%. If someone is giving you 10%, give them 10% back. I'm sorry. I know what I'm not a bitter person. I'm a Christian. I'm proud of it. These are practical things I'm just giving you that has helped me to heal and to lead most other parts of my life. Of course, it's easier for us, at least I speak for myself, to do charity. Doing charity, whether you're donating or whatever to someone you don't know, is a different thing. You always be a giver. I'm talking about where your deep emotions are connected with people, whether it's on a romantic level, platonic level, friendship, family, because if you do it, and don't do it with bitterness, just reprogram your mind. If someone gives you respect back, learn to give them respect back. Because some people, especially in African culture, some people think respect is only for them because they're older. Some reason in people's mind, it's been ingrained that only an older person deserves respect. And we know that is a big fat lie. Because even today, even in those African countries, people are learning and should be learning. And if you've been giving, now learn to withdraw and withdraw. Okay? And if you don't know what to do, you're feeling generous, give it to someone out there that will appreciate you and appreciate it more. Because you see, if you were not giving or investing your emotions, I'm not talking about just giving money or buying things or buying gifts. Part of giving, like I said, is giving your time, giving your emotions. That person you thought that loves you the way you love them. Learn, as painful as it may be, teach yourself to withdraw emotionally a little bit. Do not give them your 100% for their 10%. If you do and treat people the way they treat you, not what they say, because I have a family member, very close family member, IJ, we love you. But then that person is so wicked, they will be underhand doing complete opposite that even a blind man could see that they truly, for whatever reason, they hate me. I don't know what it is, but I call it ego and um, uh, entitlement mentality. It's like no matter what you've done before, they will lie on you. They won't even tell people half of what you've done. And I know because I've been there, it's heartbreaking. But the truth is, if I had learned to have done as little as the person did for me, at least before I even married, it shouldn't pain me because I went out of my way to do a lot more than that person ever did for me my whole life. And only because I love them, I wanted to surprise them, I wanted to make them happy. So you learn to give people 10% if they give you 10%. If they give you 50, give them 50. If they give you 100, ride on with them. And on this note, I hope this little tip that I learned for myself would help you get over all the hurt and pain that your relatives, your sibling, or your husband, or ex wife, or whoever, even colleagues, and just learn that tip. Give them, or rather, do not give them 100% for their 10%. And on this note, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and share this video with your friends and family so they get to know about my channel. My name is IJ, and this is my channel, Tell IJ. Until next time, please join me. Thank you, and bye bye.